none of the papers you sent me had that specifically. Have you had regulatory hurdles to working with them to this point or anything like that?
Oh, you mean do I have the regulatory for the working on the cannabinoid overview or not?
Like, I guess does legalization of CBD and stuff like that make
Sure.
it easier for you to work with them, or as an academic, can you have them whenever
Sure.
you want?
Yeah, no, that is true. But in Japan, it's quite different from how it is going on US, because in US, there's NIDA, right? The National Institute of the Drug Abuse, and they do control everything about those kind of drug research. And the controlling of the drug research does not mean so negative. Why? Because of when they do approve those research, they start to provide those drugs to the people with very small money or even free. So therefore they can even get kind of the hard drugs or the let's say THCs or even the marijuana extract if they want, and those are approved and in the end decided like, okay, yeah, this one is kind of reasonable research, then they can get anything that they want. But in Japan, we do not have such a kind of the institute at first. We do not have such a kind of controlling lab or the controlling whatever or the administrative whatever. We do have the administration for the drug control, but that does not mean that we do have the administration for the drug research. You see what I mean? So the drug research stuff has been controlled by the administrative drug control, and actually because of some reasons that opioid research is kind of easier than doing on the cannabinoid research, and therefore there are a lot of the opioid researchers in Japan, or there used to be a lot of the opioid researchers in Japan.
Is it including THC research as well for you, or not now?
Actually, you know what? That I can get the license for the opioid or those narcotic research. I didn't really submit it yet, but I asked to the people, to the administration, and they said that I can, simply because I have been working for that, such kind of opioids and so on before. And it is a little bit funny over here that under such a control, if I will get the license for the opioid and narcotic research, then I can already work with the THC, but only with the synthetic THC. Synthetic.
Huh.
So for fully synthetic THC. So not the extract derived, and like that.
I read somewhere that if you have a racemic mixture, it crystallizes.
Right, but doesn't matter. That is kind of the law. That is a little bit strange point of the law, honestly. But if I want to use the extract-based THC or whatever, then even if it is purified or not, no matter if there's the trace of the cannabis plant, then I cannot use it for the research. If I want to use such a kind of thing, I have to get a license for the cannabis research, but this is really, 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 really difficult, simply because of the license for the cannabis research goes top for the anything related on the cannabis. So getting the license for cannabis research means that I can actually grow the cannabis and make the extract myself, and then do the research for that. And there's two levels of licenses. That one is a researcher, and another one is, how can I say, actually cannabis worker or something. Absolutely not the user, that the maker. Let's say this way. So the people who's covered on, so this one is like who can grow the plant, for example, but they can make the extract, but they cannot really use it. But for the researcher, everything is covered, that they can grow, they can extract, they can purify, they can do anything they want, because of the research. So, and if I will apply, it's going to be this researcher stuff because I do have the PhD on the pharmacology and also that I was working on those on the opioids and so on. But means that government has to, or administration is going to give all the rights that I can do for the cannabis, and that is super duper hard decision for them for sure.
Is there a compelling reason you would do it for yourself versus trying to collaborate in a country where it's easier to do?
I think so. I absolutely do think so because of I was in Germany. That is the place that I started my research. The cannabinoid research, and over there that they could get the marijuana extract, they could get the THC, they could get anything. The research related cannabis that they can get anything. There is indeed a company who supplies the cannabis product, particularly for the research. And we could ask them, of course we have to give them a lot of documents, but we could ask them to supply such kind of thing to us. And again, that the marijuana extract was already in there, in Germany. So, and it is said that the marijuana is going to be legalized pretty soon in Germany, but even before that, like decades before that, it was like that. And up to now, in Japan, it's completely impossible. Even like a decades ago, of course, it's not possible. So if I really want to work on the marijuana whatever or the extract whatever, it's gonna be straight international collaboration.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
And that is the reason that I'm working on more. I'm currently saying that I'm more working on the cannabinoid receptors.
Yeah.
Not so much for the pharmacology itself.
Gotcha. What pharmacology plans do you have for your research? Because like I said, at least the papers you sent me, wasn't clear to me exactly if you did have CBD in your hands, what you can do with it.
Well, actually, that is one of the reasons that I asked MIGOTO that if they can, or even you, let's say that if you can supply some of the CBD, simply because of actually, I came back to Japan like 2 years ago, and on that time that I remember that I was kind of shocked that I cannot get so much of the agonist as what I could get in Germany, because of the reagent suppliers are not really positive for selling the cannabinoid agonist, even if those are more CB2 agonists rather than the CB1. They just refuse that. And I just couldn't understand that because my major topic was rather CB2, not the CB1. And I really had to say that, hey, CB2, it's not CB1, it's nothing psychotic. Why the hell you're not going to supply me any kind of agonist or antagonist? Really, that was a time like that. And then, in Germany, there was a different reason. That in Germany, that the animal testing so on has been getting stricter and stricter, and the point was that it was more the region-wise. So it's not the Germany itself which is getting strict, but at least that where my university was, which is North Rhine-Westphalia, that place is given the most strict rule for the animal testing. So actually, it was really crazy that I had to wait very good half a year or even more just only to give the approval for doing animal testing. Half a year.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't make any kind of sense. So half a year to year. So that's really complicated. So I just didn't want to do that, and I came back over here. My boss over there told me that he can provide me those knockouts, so it was okay. So such kind of animal testing, whatever stuff, it's okay in Japan. But there was indeed another problem, which was we how to get the drug itself, and agonists and so on. That's another story. But on the meantime that I was thinking for the CBD as well. But at that time that even the reagent level CBD was not sold in Japan too. I mean, Caymans and so on, I know that they are selling the reagent level the CBD, for example, as their reagent, or Sigma 2. but those are not for Japan. So that means that if I want to get, cannabidiol, for example, then I couldn't get by the reagent supplier, but instead I had to find out somewhere which I can really, let's say, trust, and which I can be really sure this one is really the cannabidiol, which has been made as the, by the really the strict, under the very strict rule to get really purified with no trace of the different whatsoever, so on. And that was one of the reasons that I started to contact Yuki actually, and that was the reason that I went to the last CBD journey, that where I met her. That simply because I couldn't really find out the good quality CBD, which I can good quality CBD that I feel comfortable to use on my research. Let's say this way.
Oh, thank you.
Let's talk about the USDA a little bit. Like, what is it like working with the USDA and their compliance system?
It's a lot of record keeping. It's not hard. It's just a diligence thing. When they came to inspect our process, before they ever come out, we have to send them. They know, they're probably the second most knowledgeable people in the world on my process, because I had to send them all of my ingredients, their countries of origin, where did I get all my filters, all of that stuff. They have to approve before I run my process. So it's just a big record keeping thing, but it's really, especially for a process that like ours, it's so simple. It's relatively easy. They come and inspect me once a year, roughly. COVID kind of goofed with that. It ended up being more like 14 months, but I do mine through Organtil. So the USDA itself doesn't go and inspect and give certifications. They approve third parties to do that, and Organtil is mine. I'm in the Pacific Northwest, so they're just close to me, and they happen to have a lot of experience in the hemp space. If I make any changes to my process, I have to send it to them and wait 15 days for them to say yes, even if it's, hey, I have a new hemp supplier. It's kind of astounding how long it takes them to get back to me, but they pretty much have to check anything and everything that I do new.
And when they come to inspect, what do they look for?
Essentially all the documentation I've submitted, the layout of my facility, how my process flow works is what I said it was. Mm-hmm. That's what they're looking for. You know, if I have a big old drum of pentane next to my tank, they will not be happy.
Of course.
Yeah, right. And anything they see that isn't an organic chemical, because I also have a small research suite, they ask me about it, make sure that it's not actually involved in my production process. So they just make sure that everything is as you said it would be.
Mm-hmm. Do they also ask you about from where your ingredients come from? I mean, from which farm that the hemps come from, and how the extracts has been made, and so on, so on.
They make me prove the supply chain all the way back to there. Mm-hmm. And that includes, typically it's the lot numbers and their record keeping system. I just have to say which lot they provided me, show their organic certification, because that's enough information. If they want to audit the supply chain, they have the information to go back and do the farm as well. Some of the interesting ingredient stuff has been like, after the process is finished, I treat my water for disposal. It's not involved in the organic process at all. And even that stuff, they're like, we want it to be organic. And I started to get kind of like my chemist hat on, being like, why? It doesn't matter. It's over. It doesn't touch my product. It's just and they were just like, nope. We want it all organic. If it's even if it is the waste step.
Right.
That's what we want. They wanted non-GMO citric acid involved.
Got it.
Anyway,
What's that for?
They won.
What's up?
They won. It's for cleaning up my waste.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Really?
Yep.
Has to be organic for that?
It's not organic. You can't make that organic. They want it to be from a non-GMO source.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So it's not from me, small Zach, but from like, you know, the food industry has to use citric acid. They use it all over the place. So they can get the USDA to allow them to use stuff like that in organic processing, even though it's not a chemical that can be made organically. They kind of like compromised with the USDA and said, okay, it'll be non-GMO. So there's a small subset of things that the USDA allows that are.
What about the paint on the wall?
Right, exactly. Like there are things that can't be organic that they allow. But don't actually touch my product or my.